Happy holidays everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll discuss Resident Evil 2 Remake SLI profile and in-game settings to get the best possible results. But before that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below, and thank you for watching. So first thing is first, let me go over the system specs that I'll be using for this video here. As you can see, I have two GTX 1080s running in SLI mode. They are slightly overclocked by 100 megs on the core and 300 megs on the memory clocks, along with the 8700k processor here clocked at 4.8 gigahertz. And I do have the hyper thread disabled, so I'm running on 6 cores straight. Also 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM running at 3200 megahertz. Now be sure to watch this whole video to the end, as I'm gonna go through different settings and explain you, because unfortunately the SLI profile is not perfect for this game, and it's a bit disappointing, but with some tweaks you could get it running pretty good, and with the right settings you could be on par with the performance of the RTX 2080 Ti, at least in 4K mode. So let's get started. First, I would like to say that in order to get the true performance without too many glitches, you do have to stay on the higher resolutions when it comes to this game. 1440p and higher to 4K, really 4K being the sweet spot. So if you are running this game on 4K with two cards like this or more powerful, you would definitely get good results. Right now I'm starting off here on 1440p, so let me show you what I got here. As you could see, both the GPUs are utilized the way you want it to be in the 90s, but as we move around, the usage could be a little bit different. So here we go. Okay. Right now we have the rendering mode in interlaced, but we could jump into normal and I'll show you a couple of settings. So we are right here on high settings. So for this game here, for using these two graphics cards, I could go to maximum. The only two options here that I could go to max on mesh quality and shadow quality, but the game becomes a bit unstable, so you would have to stay on high. Now I believe if you have two GTX 1080 Ti's, you could run this on maximum and you'll probably get the good results, but on high is really what you want to be here, and you could have all these settings turned on except motion blur off, and the game runs pretty good with good frame rates on 1440p with the interlaced option for rendering mode. Now let me show you some of the performance here. And the main headquarters here in the police station right here is a really good area to test out the SLI profile performances. Because that's where you really get the feel of the average FPS in the open area. As you go into rooms, you'll always notice that your FPS is going to be much higher in more closed spaces. So this is the area I like to use for a testing ground, the main hallway. And one thing I want to mention is even though interlaced is really designed for some of the lower end systems, when you have all the settings tweaked out, it does look really good, and it's a bit more stable when it comes to 1440p. Look at that. Get off. And by the way, I'll have the SLI profile name in the description, but might as well tell you now, it's Batman Arkham Origins. I had previous videos about that when this game originally came out, so that hasn't changed at all. There's nothing else that I know that's better than that or actually works. So once again, it's Batman Arkham Origins. But I wanted to make this video because it's really not that easy as just activating the profile, because you do have to do some tweaks in the settings. in order for the game not to twitch. Now let me show you really quick what happens when you go to 1080p. I don't know if you could see, but it's a bit shaky. And then when you go to the menu option here, there it is. You see all this flickering and stuff. So that's why I said 1080p, it would not be ideal for the setup. So let's go back to the 1440p. Okay, and now we've seen it on interlace. Now we're gonna go to normal, and of course the frame rates will drop. Actually it's, oh, you see that? That should go away. Okay, it did. Very good. Yeah, your average will go down, but it's still, I think, it's a pretty good average if you ask me here. Again, we're seeing some flickering in the normal mode, and that's something you want to play with between normal rendering mode and interlaced. But when it comes to 4K resolution, which is coming up next, I think that's, you're going to get the best possible results out of that, both on normal and interlaced rendering. Unfortunately, I wish that more games support SLI or better SLI profile, but you know, I guess it's all about the business out there, and I'm sure a lot of developers, when they make the games, they could easily make these games SLI compatible off the bat, but I'm sure it'll hurt the sales of the newer hardware because everybody will stick with the older stuff, and this will make you basically keep upgrading and just spending more and more money on new hardware every time a new game comes. I mean, really, there's no groundbreaking graphics in this game. Definitely no better than, like, I don't know, Witcher 3, which is a beautiful game visually and supports SLI perfectly. Okay, so now let's just go into 4K and wrap this up. And again, we're gonna start off with the normal mode, and that is the best results. We're gonna stay on high on everything here, and again, motion blur off, just about the only thing we turned off there. And here, I don't know if you could tell, but let me reset the frames. Here you have it, really the best quality, minimum, no flickering really at all. You're getting good average FPS here, around 60 or higher. And if you go into hallways, of course, in smaller rooms, you're going to get a lot better performance here. Let's see. Okay. Looks nice inside. Okay, we got some action here. Looking good. Okay, so that's on normal. We're averaging around 60 to 70 FPS, give or take. So the last thing we have to do is just check on the 4K, but on the interlace mode. Now again, Interlaced does not look bad. Look at it, it looks almost the same as long as you have all the settings turned up. There's nothing wrong with it. And now we're getting a lot higher FPS average overall on 4K, and that's pretty good performance, I would say. On every setting pretty much maxed out. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the video here. I hope this helps. I've been testing these things out for quite some time, and this is the best you could get, I think, when it comes to SLI. Of course, if you have better you know, graphics cards like 1080 Ti's, you'll definitely, in theory, should demolish a single RTX 2080 Ti. Okay, so in this case, sometimes you see some flickering, especially when you first turn the settings on and off, but once the game adapts, it runs really good. Alright everybody, there you have it. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.